So, Molly, Haley launched her campaign declaring she does not put up with bullies. However, she worked for the biggest bully of them all. So if she can't stand up to Trump, what's the realistic path for her moving forward towards the nomination?
Yeah, I don't understand how she plays this. I mean, how she's been so far during Trumpism was sort of like ignoring him and then a little bit of interacting with him and very little criticism. Now she's like directly running against him. So she's going to have to show that she's either some way different than Trump, right? And that will, I mean, look, I think this is a very tough Republican Party for anyone who is not Trump or selling Trumpism. And, you know, she is like one of these candidates where she's like a Mitt Romney, you know, someone who's like a charming Republican candidate of the early 2000s when they used to run people who pretended to believe in things. I'm just not convinced that the Republican Party of now, which delights in targeting marginalized groups, will embrace this particular candidate.
When we ran David Jolly, he believed in a lot and was very successful at it. But David, for you, you had Senator Bernie Sanders responding to Haley's push to demand mental competency tests for older politicians this morning on CBS. Take a listen.
Former Ambassador Nikki Haley is running for president, as you know, and she said there should be a mandatory mental competency test for politicians older than 75. You're 81. Do you take offense at that?
What did she mean? I don't understand what she was. You know, no, I think that's absurd. You know, there's a level.
Absurd.
Yeah. You know, we are fighting racism. We're fighting sexism. We're fighting homophobia. I think we should also be fighting ageism. Trust people, look at people, and say, you know, this person's competent, this person's not competent. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of 40-year-olds out there who ain't particularly competent. Older people, you know, you look at the individual. I don't think you make a blanket statement.
There's a lot of truth to that. So what does Haley's political stunt tell you, David, about the seriousness of her candidacy?
Age discrimination is an odd foot to step out on a presidential campaign in a party that is dominated often by senior voters. I would also say when she told Shannon Bream, I don't think about Donald Trump, Michael, she thinks about Donald Trump every single night. She probably has this Truth Social post on push notifications on her cell phone. So this is a weird moment that we're seeing Nikki Haley in. But I think there is something very telling, and it's this. As Molly mentioned, she was one of these more kind of traditional Jeb Bush conservative types. Even during her Trump years, she tried to have it both ways because her natural disposition in the party is as the right of center. I know a lot of people would say super conservative, but in Republican politics, probably right of center, trying to be the consensus maker as governor, if you will. That's what she has tried to project. But that is not what she has chosen in launching her presidential campaign. Her message was around age discrimination, which Bernie Sanders is absolutely right, suggesting, as I said, Matt Gaetz is more qualified than Mitch McConnell, Marjorie Taylor Greene more qualified than Joe Biden, Lauren Boebert more qualified than Nancy Pelosi. It's absurd. And then her notion that Ron DeSantis's Don't Say Gay bill didn't go far enough. And what it tells us is the entire field that's going to emerge here is going to play on the culture war issues. And very importantly, they're going to try to take that ground, not from Donald Trump, but from Ron DeSantis. Nikki Haley clearly coming after Ron DeSantis in her announcement.